we've said something worth listening to. So that's not the presentation. That's I think. Go to the next slide. And the next one. Okay, that's the right one. Now you can go back to the start. Because we wanted to be sure and point out that the K&K is the mission of this church. And we want to thank you because you send us. We don't just go. You support us financially, you send us, and we do some things there. First of all, our purpose is always to present the gospel of Jesus Christ in order to help grow the kingdom by making disciples. Isn't that what Jesus told us to do? And to serve the widows, the orphans, the poor, the helpless, the hopeless, all of those, the downtrodden, the abused, the defenseless, the sick, the injured, and the hurting. That's what we do. And that's because you send us to do that. So what happened in April, just not very long ago? Well, first of all, it was rainy season. So we had a lot of fun. There's maybe these lights off for a minute. Might be able to see it a little better without the glare. Yeah, it's not the glare off of my head. So anyway, you can see that that's right after we were stuck in that spot. We had to get a tractor to pull us out. And this bridge that we have to cross every day, twice a day, that hole there on the left was really deep. So our rig went like this every time. But it's kind of fun. It's like going, to the fair. And then that's the road. That's the Prayer Mountain in the background. So anyway, the quickest for the church, it's the quickest 4-hour service that you'll ever attend. If you ever want to go with us, they often have their children singing many times during the service. It really does go by quickly. I know it's hard for you to believe, but it's like, wow, it's over. Sing and dance, like Jim Swindle does when he's here. So this is their offering. We wanted to show you that. They do put money in the basket, but they also put goodies. Avocado there, some tomatoes. They put different things in because that's what they have to offer. The schools. There's some of the children in the schools, and this next line might be of interest to you. That's the line for lunch. One of the lines for lunch. This is the secondary one. They've already done the primary kids. Altogether, they're feeding about 500 kids for lunch every day. This is a little closer up version of it. And that's one of the reasons that you sent us this time, was to build another kitchen for the secondary. And yes, that's me actually working, actually digging. We were putting the concrete in. I got to work physically for 3 days. It was great. That's the building that's done now, and it has enough space for the kitchen, for storage for food, and for the kids to be able to get in out of the rain to eat. And we also told you about the fence that we had to put up. COVID, Uganda requires a fence around all schools, but they've been lenient with us because of the work we've been doing. But when COVID hit, they said that's enough. No fence, no school. Because I was wanting to take a group of you over to build the fence. It would have been a fun project, really. But anyway, we had to send the money and let the Ugandans do it instead. There's another shot of the fence in front of one of our water tanks. So this is the start of a latrine that we were building. We've done, I don't know, somewhere around 10 or 12 or 20 of those latrines, literally. And this is not the same latrine, but that's what they look like when they're done. We went and built a latrine one time, and the ones they build are so much better than ours. We learned our lesson. So to educate a child is to educate a nation, give girls and boys equal opportunities. Our school believes in that, just like you folks do. All you young girls out there, how many of you think this is a good thing to be teaching? Raise your hand. I'd like to see. I see a few hands going up. Of course you do. Of course you do.
This is in their schoolyard. They have this sign.
This is one of the girls' dorms, and I bring this up because we had a problem that arose. The problem was some of the 12, 13-year-old girls were being stalked and being molested. And some of their parents were even trying to get them to get married early, forcing them into marriage. And the Western mind and the Ugandan mind doesn't agree with that. That's just some parents. And so what we started was a girls' refuge. We had 22 girls that we were able to save from that. I don't know, we can't save them all, but we saved 22 of them. And so they're now living in that dormitory. We bought them mattresses, we're going to buy beds, all the food that they need to eat. So it's a great thing, and it just touched my heart deeply that we needed to do something for those girls. That's another one of the dormitories that's pretty full. Those are mosquito nets, by the way. And I'll let Pam talk about medical.
So I always love going and being able to get my hands on those little kids. They're just beautiful there. This is the sick bay. This is at the school, and this is where I spent the week helping. I got to see the kids. The next slide. And because of the rain, there was much malaria. These kids would come in with fevers of 104 degrees, and we were able to purchase medicine on our way going there and treat them. This is a mom that came in with her twins, and if you notice those hats on those babies out there that you made. And the next slide shows another mom that came in with her twins, front and back. Aren't they just the most beautiful children in the world? And this is Claire. She is their school nurse, and she's treating, and I got to spend a lot of time with her educating and anything. Anyway, she is one of our Hope Africa kids that graduated through the program up in Kabecheriya, so she's one of our star pupils. And we actually have 4 teachers that are actually teaching there that have gone through the program. And so that's what happens when you sponsor a child. So if anybody wants to sponsor a child out there, one of the things that we went there for, and something we've been praying about for a long time, is having a future clinic there down in the village for people to go to. So this is Dr. Isaac. We got to work with him about 1.5 years ago when we were able to go and have a clinic. And he lives about 3 hours drive from K&K. And so we took Mike and Phyllis, they're there in the middle, and met with Dr. Isaac and his wife Rachel. And they're the most godly people and have the amazing hearts. And we asked them if they would like to partner and have a remote clinic. And they said yes. So, and Dr. Isaac, he said, we want to treat the people medically, but more than anything, we want to bring people to the Lord. So he has just this amazing heart. And so we're very excited. So that's coming up in the future. We'll build a clinic site there near the school, and so it's yet to come. The next thing I want to talk about is the kids. DC's the big picture person in what we do, and I'm the little picture person. And I was watching these children. They come to school and they don't eat for a couple hours, and they haven't eaten anything at home, of course. And then they get this cup of porridge that's corn porridge. So it's just made out of corn. And they're kind of dragging, and I thought, these kids need some protein. So as you guys know, we do the milk program for the kids that are not in school. So I talked to them and I said, what would happen if we could add milk to their porridge, give them some protein? And so they said that right now the cows are just milking like crazy, and so we're going to pay some local farmers for more milk, and we're going to get some milk in those kids.
No excitement there. They speak English. Uganda was an English province for years and years, so they speak English, but they have their own tribal language called Kupsabini. We speak very little of it because we haven't needed to. But as far as the milk goes, what we did was expand the milk project. It's still milk going to kids, and it's hard to believe, but for $800, we were able to provide a cup of milk for the rest of the year in their food for each of those kids through 2021. It'll help them immensely. So, of course, water is important. We ended up having to repair a couple wells while we were there. We also took money and left money for hydrology reports because we've been funded for 2 more wells, and we're going to put those in, and one of them is going to be where the clinic is. We've already been funded to purchase the building for the clinic. You won't hear me asking for funds for that. A couple that we know said we're going to pay for that. And so that's exciting. Dr. Mubizi, when he worked with us a year and a half, 2 years ago, unbeknownst to us, we came home and said, this guy is a man of God and a great physician. We want to work with him in the future. We had no idea that he was saying to the people over there, these people from Powell Butte, the Powell Butte Church has sent, they are all doing the right things. They are men and women of God. We want to work with them in the future. We didn't know that till we got over there. So anyhow, we're going to, and we just thank God for that. The water is, there's one of the wells that we repaired. But I want to talk about partnerships briefly. This is Dr. Val. Dr. Val, she in Lumino, she is from Fossil, Oregon. You've heard me talk about her before. She's been there for 20 years now treating animals, and she speaks broken English now because she speaks pretty much the local languages. Her husband, Waffle, that's his actual name, they were introduced, who was the guy? He recently died. Yeah, Luis Palau. He introduced them, and they got married, and they have a ministry with the Koramajang, who are very mean, and anyway, but they live fairly close to where we work, and if any of you think you might want to go on a mission to help them build their house, let me know. I can arrange that for you. But Waffle is going with 2 other people from in this congregation. I don't know where they are. I see one of them back there. And is Troy here? Or did he cut out? Anyhow, we're going to, do you remember this bridge? This is the bridge into Kabecheriya. They have built a drive-through bridge now. That one is no longer needed, so we're going to move it. We're going to move it to a different part in the river where they have no bridge, and that's going to happen probably in January, late January of next year. So that's what partnerships do. We've been partnered with people on wells. Wells are life. Wells put in that kind of water that our kids need over there. So thank you from them. And they wanted to give you a big wave when we told them we were going to present to you. So that's a big wave to you. Thank you so much for giving to the Lord and for sending us. We appreciate it.
And I'm sure that we will hear